from Bets Makes, and today we're going to be playing with window decals or decals with window cling. This is a really nice material you can get from Cricut, and it's a lot of fun to put together. You can use other materials for window cling. You don't have to use the Cricut one, but I recommend the Cricut one. And I have put this on my pencil box because I don't have a window I can show you, but this is how ours came out. As you can see, it has some beautiful snowflakes. They're really easy to peel off and then put on another surface, and they stay in place because they are a cling type material. So these are perfect for decorating your windows for the holidays or anything else. So let's get going with it. The only thing you're really going to need is this window cling, and this one is from Cricut. This is a white one. They also have black, and of course a fine tip blade. And because it's a fine tip blade, you'll also be able to cut these on the Joy and any of the Explore machines as well. So let's get over to Design Space and let's start making. Okay, we're going to be making this window decal or decal snowflake today, and we're here in Design Space. So I'm just going to turn off the words here. I'm going to leave my little snowflake here because this is what we'll be cutting out, and this is set up for a basic cut, but I just want to make sure that everything looks good. Yes, we have our basic cut over here. So this window cling will be a number of snowflakes that are going to go on my window this winter season. So let's go over to images here and see if we can find anything else that looks like a snowflake we can use. Search. So we have all kinds of other snowflakes we can use. The one I just gave you is the one that I already have, but you can add more to it. Now, since this is window cling, you want something that is pretty solid in the center. So I'm just going to look down at some of these. There's a nice looking one right here. I'm subscribed so I can insert that image. So I also have this one and this one. These ones are going to look pretty good. I'm just going to make this one a little bigger. I just want to make sure there are no cut lines in between. Nothing could be worse than taking something apart. And maybe we'll add one more here. So let's click on our images. And remember, with Cricut Access, you have a lot of these images that you can use. And let's take a look and see what else is down here that would look really nice as window cling. I like something that's pretty solid but is not too bad for what we want to do is cutting. That'll have a lot of cuts on it, but we could give it a try. This one is kind of cute too. As you can see, there are a lot of them that you can use, but for window cling, you kind of want to keep them as one piece the best as possible. And I'm just going to choose this one for now. We're going to use 3 different snowflakes here. This one has a nice little cutout in the center. And since it's with window cling, and I'm only going to use a white window cling, I might just cut 3 or 4 of these. I've got these ones are 5 or 6 inches across. Those are pretty big, so why don't we just make them 3 inches across, and I'm going to make them all 3 inches. We'll just go up to the sizing here and just going to type in 3. And this one is also going to be 3. So that'll give us some nice size ones. So that gives us 3, 6, 9. So I can get them close together here. We're going to make them all the same color so that we can fit them all in. And I could probably duplicate all of these and get another layer of them. So let's duplicate them, put them down here. Now this is all one size, so we're going to duplicate. I'm going to take all of these and I'm going to go to the color here, and I'm just going to make them all the same color so they go on the same piece. Now these are great, but now perhaps we want to take all 3 of these bottom ones. I'm going to duplicate it one more, but instead of having them 3 inches, I'm just going to make them a little smaller so we have a bunch of small ones to fit in there as well. I'm going to duplicate it one more and try these from small ones. So that looks pretty good. I'm going to have 3, 6, 9. I'm going to have 12 of these cut out. That looks really good. So let's come up here to save. And this is September Makes. And it is Snowflake Window Cling or Decal. Depends on what you want to call it. And this is going to come up here to September Makes for me. And I'm going to click on Save. Now all we're going to need to do here is absolutely cut it. So I'm just going to click on Make It. It's going to sort them. This is going to be on matte. I do not have a smart material for this one. So that looks pretty good. I can just move things up a little bit so we're not wasting as much material. We can just move them up and over. I'm all for saving as much as we can. I guess that one was okay the way it was. See if we can move some of these little guys up here. Save a little bit on our material anyway. I think this one can come in here. I don't know if I'll be able to fit one up here. I might if I bring this down just a little bit. To say sometimes it just takes moving stuff around a little bit to get it all to fit into a smaller area. I wonder if this one will fit in here, and it will. So now it's all above the 7 inch. So I don't need 7 inches of material. So I've moved all of these around the way I want it. So let's click on Continue. It'll just take a second to hook up to my maker. I am using a maker, but it doesn't mean you have to. So we're going to click on Popular to see if anything popular comes up here. No, it does not. So we're going to come up here, browse all materials. I'm going to type in Window Cling. That is the name of the material. And there it is, Window Cling. It's by Cricut. I'm just going to click on Done. And all we need is to load the mat and put in a fine point blade. Now the mat I'm going to use is a standard grip mat. As you can see here, we have the standard grip mat. I only need 7 inches of material. So here we're going to go ahead and we're going to open this one up. This is a Window Cling. So let me just get the packaging off here. Now it has a very rough side on one side, and it has on the other side it is quite shiny. So I'm just going to try and find out. That is the gluey side, so we're going to leave the top side up. That's what I wanted to know. You want to make sure you follow the directions as best as possible. I know some of us have some really neat ways we can do different things. So I just open that one up, shut my scissors here. This gives me a Window Cling. Now I want 7 inches of material, and once again there is a little extra piece of tape. I'll just keep that for later, but I want 7 inches of material. So I am going to go from 14 to 7. I'm just using my mat here to cut it, and I'm just going to give it a little extra right here. So what I'm going to do is just hold this where I want to cut it. I usually do a lot of these things on the fly to make it a lot easier. So I'll just give it a little crease right here where I want to cut it. As you can see, it gives me a good cut line. I could use my cutter for this, but sometimes I find it just faster, and I don't necessarily cut 100% in one line. However, it doesn't matter. This is the bottom of what you're cutting. So I'm just going to cut that out. You know, you don't have to use your machine or that for everything that you're doing. You can use your scissors. Now I'm just going to roll this back up because I want to keep it pristine. I had my little piece of tape that was over here. I'm going to put that back on. And of course I want to make sure I keep the directions with my roll. So I always put these ones back on as well. Now the tape is cut here, so it's going to be a little tougher to hold it in place, but I do have a little bit of painter's tape here that I am going to use. Just tear off a little piece and just hold that together. So that is window cling. Now just put that off to the side. Let's get our mat out here. Take the protective cover off, put that to the side so we can get to it. And now for our window cling, just going to place it on the mat as straight as possible. I always try to put the top and the side down first and then work my way this way. My other little trick here is to use a brayer tool to make sure everything sticks down on the mat and I'm not getting tears and rips as our blade tries to work through it. Now I want to make sure it's absolutely in place. Looks perfect. So let me just move a few of my things out of the way here. I'm going to bring my machine in so you can see it. I do have the fine tip blade already in place, so that's perfect. It's already in clamp B. It's asking me to load my mat. Remember, you have to leave enough mat clearance at the back so you're not knocking things over. It'll just take a moment or two to decide the length of the mat, and it will also decide that I have the right tool in place because I only want to have the one tool. So if it's correct, I get the go button. I just click on go, and it should only take a couple of moments to cut out our snowflakes. It may take a little longer than we think because they're pretty intricate. Okay, it is finished cutting. I'm just going to put it underneath here for a second and click on finish in design space. It goes back to the front. There we go. And I'm just going to slide this out of the way. And the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to peel off the back here. I'm going to keep it that way. Generally, I will do the weeding right on the mat, but today I'm not going to because this is window cling and I want to keep everything intact. So let me just put my mat away. I will do a cleaning of my mats after I finish my project, but right now I want to put it away. Now part of this is you've got to be able to see around it. Now because this window cling is such a clear dark color, it's really hard to see the outside edges. So what I want to do is find an edge here just to get it started. There we go. And as you can see, it is pretty translucent and it's going to be delicate when you're trying to pull things away, so just be very careful and be very patient. You don't want to take any extras off, and it is, like I said, it's a little tougher to see than most because it is a window cling. Now I do have the snowflakes here and it is coming out okay so far. So far so good. I think the tougher part's going to come when we get to the smaller pieces. I tend to go too fast sometimes, and I've ruined so many different things by coming off too fast. So we're looking here. Be very gentle with it. There we go. That looks really good. I think I got most of it. Hopefully I didn't take any of them off. Just double check. Looks really good. That would make a nice stencil, but we don't need to keep that. Now, with the window cling, because we're going to use it on many different surfaces, you're going to want to keep your backing paper for a little later. Now I'm going to gently lift off one of these, and they're really hard to see. I'm not going to use my transfer paper, although I could. Just want to bring this off very gently. So I want to use these over and over again, so I just want to bring those up And I'm just going to be very careful how I bring them up. And this is why I wanted a thicker area. So now we have one ready for the window cling, but I don't have a window handy to show you, so I'm going to use the little edge here. And as you can see, this is just going to cling on here so nicely, and I'll be able to pull it off at any time. I'm going to try and put another smaller one in there with it. I said the hardest part is going to be pulling it off of the backing, because you want to keep it in a place where it is a window cling. They're very easy to come off, and that centerpiece can come right out. We don't need that centerpiece. As you can see, you can just make it cling right on. And let's add maybe one more small one in place, one that's a little bit different. I think this one's a little bit different. You just have to move it at an angle so you can actually see. That should take only a few seconds here. There we go. It comes off quite as easily. But there we are. I have another little one that we can put in here that's actually the same shape as the big one. And it comes right off just like that. Now if this were a window, it would be really easy to take care of. Now the bottom one's in place right now, so let me just put this one maybe over to the same side as this one just to make it easier. And these would go on the window. These are perfect for the holidays. They're so much fun and so easy to put together. So that is putting together window cling. In this case, we have a snowflake theme. So I hope you really enjoyed doing this, and give this type of material a whirl, because I know you're really going to love it, and you can have your imagination. Now this is just one color. It does also come in a black, and I'm not too sure about other colors, but at least black and white, so you can decorate your windows. So until next time, happy crafting.